Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to MoonKast Radio. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is the one and only Griffin G. Child bringing you my debut inaugural podcast, or as I like to call it, the MoonKast. That's right, you heard it here first. This is the MoonKast, brought to you today by MoonKast Chronicles, the smash classic double album by yours truly, Griffin G. Child, which will be coming out in January of 2016, release date to be announced. Throughout this podcast, you will hear music from that project just to get a feel and just to get a taste for what's coming in the new year. With this being my inaugural podcast, first thing I'd like to do is just introduce myself and give you a little background on who I am and where I come from. Once again, my name is Griffin, my first name. Born and raised in Dayton, Ohio, Midwest kid. I'm a big fan of basketball. I love the NBA. I love college basketball, but I do love the pro game better just because it is the finished product. It is the final destination. I started to grow up and watch basketball toward the tail end of the great golden era of the 80s. You're talking about the 88 finals, 89 finals, and on. That's when I really started to watch the game for myself. My father introduced me to the game of basketball at a young age, and pretty much from there, I just had a love affair with basketball. Going forward, today in this initial podcast, we're going to talk about the National Basketball Association and the team that everybody is talking about, which is the Golden State Warriors. We're also going to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, the woeful and dreadful Philadelphia 76ers. We're also going to talk about the 2015 rookie class and how they are faring out so far, or how they fare so far. And we're also going to talk about the Phoenix Suns, which Phoenix is actually my new hometown. I'm a transplant, or as they say, snowbird. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off with the Golden State Warriors. This is a team at this time of this podcast. They are 23-0. Looks like there's no end in sight. Steph Curry is amazing. The number one thing that I like about the Golden State Warriors is the front office. They were able to draft and put together the right players for this system to work. A lot of people passed on Draymond Green, who went second round. So he's actually like a steal. And he's actually playing up to his contract, which is very impressive. They were able to get Klay Thompson in the first round. They got Harrison Barnes in the first round. And as we all know, they got Stephen Curry in the first round. So you talk about being able to hit the nail right on the head there with 4 draft picks. That is your nucleus of the team. So they actually have a big 4. At any given time, Klay Thompson can get hot. We all know Stephen Curry gets hot. And this very beautiful, fun basketball, very entertaining to watch, something we've never seen before. They do have a chance to crack that Chicago Bulls record, which I did grow up a Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen fan, and they do have a chance to break that record, which would be phenomenal. Big kudos to them. My hat's off to them. I believe winning the championship last year gave them a form of confidence that they could do anything they wanted, and I think it allowed Curry to be more open with his game and just pretty much explore different avenues as far as what shots to take, what shots not to take. It's a totally different confidence when you become a champion. I do feel like if Cleveland would have been healthy, we probably could have stole that first game, because we did take the next 2. We could have stole that first game, and Golden State did look nervous in that first game, and I believe we probably could have got that first game, but you can't say it's near there, but it's a great what if. Like I said, once again, hats off to Golden State. Also, just talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers, we're going to shift over to the Eastern Conference. They're not playing the greatest brand of basketball. They are in a deadlock tie for the top seed at 14-7. LeBron James is playing okay. Like he's just kind of coasting into the fourth quarter, and then he tries to work his magic to turn the team around. It has worked 14 times, and 7 times it hasn't worked. It's fair to say at this point that Kevin Love is a complimentary piece. I'm not sure he is a guy that can carry your team, but I believe he is an excellent piece to the championship puzzle, but not a guy that can carry the team. I was a little disappointed seeing LeBron sit out playing the Miami Heat for rest when they had 2 days off after that game for him to rest. So that was a little disappointing. But so far, not too bad. It's just the Golden State Warriors are just playing so good. Nobody can catch up right now. I would like to see the Cavaliers make a trade using their trade exception, just to see if maybe we can get a guy like a Joe Johnson, maybe a Markieff Morris, a player like that that's been rumored to be on the trading block. I wouldn't mind Josh Smith from the Clippers. I think we do need somebody off the bench that can create their own shot off the dribble without the system creating a shot. I think that is very key. That is very important. We're going to move on to the woeful, dreadful Philadelphia 76ers, who just made a big hire in Jerry Colangelo, another former Phoenix exec. As you can see how the podcast is going, we're just building up for Phoenix. Another Phoenix exec. The big thing in Philadelphia, they say trust the process. I actually am a believer in trusting the process. I don't think if they went out and tried to splurge, like on a Ty Lawson, if they would have paid like a Rajon Rondo or Aaron Aflalo, if they would have went after some of these free agents from last summer, like a DeMar Carroll, I don't think it would have had any outcome on their success this season. I think you have to have one once-in-a-generation superstar to win, and another star with that other player to win. I think that's how you win championships. If you look at every champion in the past 30 years, they've had a once-in-a-generation superstar, besides the Detroit Pistons, who had a collection of all-stars with Billups, Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, Tayshaun Prince, and Richard Hamilton, Rip Hamilton. In the last 30 years, you've seen every single team have a star on that level. So I think that is the key to winning. I do believe in the process. I love Jahlil Okafor. I know he's got into a lot of trouble off the court. You know, he's 19, he's young, but I do believe in his offensive game, and I do believe that he gives them an identity of somebody that you can dump the ball down to. It can actually operate off the box. I love Nerlens Noel as a defensive player. I hope that they can keep the two of them together. I'd like to see Nerlens Noel continue to develop and stretch the floor a little bit. It doesn't have to be three-pointers all the time, but 18, 20-footer as well as a three-point shot that will give Okafor room to create. Coming up in the draft, there are a couple of good guards. We won't get into the draft in this podcast, but we will talk about them in a future podcast. The players that are coming out. There are a couple of exciting young players that are coming into the NBA next year. Philadelphia may be able to hold on to that Lakers top 3 protected pick, but the way the Lakers are playing, I'm not sure. But even without that top 3 protected pick, Philadelphia will have their own lottery pick. And I believe going forward, Philadelphia can be an Eastern Conference powerhouse. I know it sounds crazy, but I do believe they could be an Eastern Conference powerhouse with the right picks here and there. And even with Joel Embiid, to be able to get him back I don't know. I've been hearing things about his attitude, his work ethic, but being able to get him back, you can still showcase him, and you could probably move him for a future asset. So even though they're woeful and dreadful, I do believe in the process, and I do believe that they can be a powerhouse. Probably the tail end of the fifth year, by like 2018, 2019, I do believe that they can be a powerhouse. Well, we're going to take a quick break for our Moonbase station ID, and I will return right back. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Moonbase Radio. Greetings, Griffin G. Child coming right back at you. We're going to go ahead and continue on with the MoonKast. Once again, the MoonKast is brought to you today by Moonbase Chronicles, the classic LP starring yours truly, Griffin G. Child, which will be coming your way January 2016. Getting right back into it, we have a couple more topics to discuss. We want to talk about the 2015 rookie class. The rookies of this season have been fantastic. I could tell during the draft that we're going to have a lot of good rookies to watch and enjoy this year. I said I love Jahlil Okafor. Of course, he has to get things together off the court, but I believe that he will. Karl Anthony Towns has been sensational as a rookie. He does fit into the new mold of the modern era player. You also I like Emmanuel Mudiay. He spent last season playing in China. I believe that gave him a confidence that he could play on this level. I love what I'm seeing out of Emmanuel Mudiay. And of course, it's the rookie everybody's talking about, but it's largely due to the market that he's in. Kristaps Porzingis, he's a legit 7'3" big man that can shoot, and he can also play some good defense. He can block some shots. Could be another Kevin Durant type of player, or it could be the Dirk Nowitzki remix. So I'm looking for big things from him. There are a couple of rookies that I aren't getting the playing time right now that I'm still interested in, as one is Andre Hunter with the Boston Celtics. They do have a lot of guards. He may not be able to get the playing time that he needs to be successful. We also have Justice Winslow for the Miami Heat. He's a very nice player. He's a two-way player, may or may not be a dominant star, but he is a very nice two-way player. Can play good defense. Actually, when Miami goes to their bench and they put him in with that second lineup, they play really good defense, as Miami is one of the top defensive teams in the NBA this year. He is another fabulous rookie. Frank Kaminsky, not getting the playing time for the Charlotte Hornets, but he is a rookie who spit off 4 years in college. I do expect a lot from him going forward. Just being a player who should know his role, know what to do, and should have a fairly decent career. So, like I said, I'm very impressed with the rookies this year, which now we're going to get into my last topic, which I spoke to you before. I am a transplant, or as you like to say, I'm a snowbird. I am living in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a fan of the Phoenix Suns, of course. They're a team in the Western Conference that is on the rise. They made a great addition in picking up Tyson Chandler. That is a great addition. I'm a huge TJ Warren fan. I'm a big fan of TJ Warren. He's like instant offense, like instant oatmeal. He's a guy who can come in, drop buckets. I love his mid-range game. He has an array of moves, floaters, shots off the dribble. I love his game. I'm looking forward to seeing him to continue to develop and get more playing time. Devin Booker, another rookie who I didn't mention before, but he is a very nice shooter, and I look to see him get implemented more into the rotation as the season progresses. You're also looking at Eric Bledsoe and Brandon Knight in the backcourt. I wasn't for sure how this lineup would work against bigger two guards, but they are making it work. They had a very successful game against the Chicago Bulls where they actually won on a buzzer beater. That was a very intense, very exciting game, a big win, a great win for the Phoenix Suns in that regard. And I will be present tonight as the Phoenix Suns take on the Orlando Magic, which as today's date is December 9th. So I am very impressed with the direction that the Suns are going, maybe one or two pieces away, which would take the team to the next level. Once again, this MoonKast was brought to you today by Moonbase Chronicles, the debut classic LP coming from yours truly, Griffin G. Child, which will be available in the new year, January 2016. Release date TBA, to be announced. Well, that's all that I have for today, for today's MoonKast. Stay tuned for the next MoonKast, which we will get into about 3 or 4 more NBA teams, and we're also going to discuss the upcoming 2016 NBA draft, and we're going to look at some potential young draft picks and players that are on the rise and that could be future stars in the NBA. This is Griffin G. Chow signing off. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to MoonBase Radio.